If you've ever been judged unfairly, especially while you were already struggling, this story will make you want to stand up and cheer. So hit that like button, subscribe for more real-life justice, and buckle up, because today's revenge? It's quiet, but so satisfying. This story belongs to my mom. But honestly, it lives rent-free in my head too. She was a young mother back then, early 30s, exhausted, barely keeping her head above water with 2 small kids. My older brother was just 2 years old at the time, and as anyone with toddlers knows, that age isn't easy on anyone. But my brother, he wasn't just a handful. He was later diagnosed with ASD, autism spectrum disorder. At 2, that diagnosis hadn't come yet, so all my mom knew was that he screamed a lot, melted down over things she couldn't predict, and absolutely lost it when routines changed or something he wanted got taken away. That day, she was just trying to make it through the weekly grocery run. A mom, hair thrown up in a messy bun, eyes heavy with fatigue, pushing a squeaky-wheeled trolley with a toddler mid-tantrum strapped in the seat. He's red-faced, wailing, tiny fists pounding his thighs. And she's kneeling beside him in the cereal aisle, trying everything. Calming words, a gentle touch, that please stop desperation that every parent knows all too well. Other shoppers pass by, some throwing sympathetic glances, others deliberately ignoring them. And then, her. An older woman. Probably in her 60s. Prim. Tight curls. Purse clutched like a badge of superiority. You could practically smell the judgment before she opened her mouth. As she walks past my mom, she lets out a dramatic sigh and mutters, asterisk just loud enough to be heard, asterisk of course. For goodness sake. No offer of help. No empathy. Just that smug tone that says, your child is a nuisance, and so are you. Now, my mom, she was running on fumes. She had gone through sleepless nights, public meltdowns, therapy waiting lists, and the crushing weight of not knowing how to help her own child, and still showed up to buy milk and diapers like she was expected to. And this lady, this stranger, thought she could just swing by and judge? Something inside my mom snapped. Not in a screaming, dramatic way. No. My mom's petty revenge came from the kind of bone-deep exhaustion that transforms mom guilt into mom wrath. She picked herself up, wiped her hands on her jeans, and began her mission. As the older lady turned the corner into the next aisle, likely believing she had made her point and could now move on with her morally superior day, my mom followed. Toddler still crying in the cart. Wheels still squeaking. But this time, she didn't even try to stop the meltdown. She leaned into it. Wherever the lady went, my mom suddenly needed something from that same aisle. Oh, flour. I need flour, she'd mutter, strolling casually past the woman who was clearly trying to escape. The woman veered into the freezer section. Oh, frozen peas. Perfect. She pivoted into the cleaning supplies. Dish soap. My mom didn't say anything. She didn't do anything. She just existed. Loudly. Right next to this woman. Everywhere. And the toddler? He kept up the soundtrack. Wailing. Sniffing. Occasionally pausing to catch his breath before launching into the next round. If you've ever heard a 2-year-old cry in a high-pitched, glass-shattering tone, you know, it's not something you ignore. It's not something you can outrun. Now here's the thing. This woman had options. She could have apologized. Could have said, I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn. She didn't. Instead, she tried to speedwalk through her list, increasingly flustered, eyes darting like prey trying to lose a predator. But my mom, she just kept showing up. Quiet. Calm. But persistent. Like a ghost with a crying baby. By the time the woman was only a third of the way through her shop, she had enough. She didn't even finish. She made a beeline for the front, dumped her basket, and left the store. My mom. She smiled, turned her trolley around, and went back to start her actual shopping. Now imagine being that woman. Thinking your little jab would teach a young mom a lesson about parenting. But instead, you got shadowed through an entire grocery store by a crying toddler and a woman who refused to be shamed. That, right there, is a masterclass in passive revenge. No yelling. No confrontation. Just the gentle, relentless reminder. If you're going to judge someone in public, you'd better be prepared to shop with them. What I love most about this story isn't just the pettiness, it's the power. Power reclaimed by a woman who was made to feel small, at her lowest, and still found a way to say, "You don't get to shame me." Because sometimes, justice isn't loud. Sometimes, it's a squeaky cart and a very determined mom. If this story gave you goosebumps or made you smile, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's the pettiest revenge you've ever pulled off, or wished you had? And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories that prove one thing over and over. Karma might be slow, but it always finds the